there, this is Laura McCaig with Laura McCaig Physical Therapy. I am embarking on a bit of a journey. I'm here at a rest stop along with, I think, the big state of Missouri lawn mowing crew. So hopefully you can hear me. I am going to be giving some helpful tips and hints on some things that you could do to maybe make your trip more pleasant and maybe not make so many stops along the way. You didn't hear anything I said because of all this. Yep, you got the big lawn mowing crew here, but you make the best of it, I guess. All right, well, we're gonna try this again. Oh, nope, here they go again. I thought maybe they would stop, but I don't think they're gonna stop. They got a lot of lawn to mow. I'm gonna try this again. Hey, this is Laura McCaig with Laura McCaig Physical Therapy. I am about to embark on a cross-country journey. Well, at least halfway across the country right now. And I thought I would address an issue that I have heard talked about quite a bit. I have heard several of you complaining that you don't like to go long distances in the car because it takes you forever to get anywhere because you have to stop at the bathroom every 15 minutes. Or I've heard others of you talking about maybe canceling trips or wondering if you should go, not because of the COVID-19 restrictions we have, but because you don't know where the bathrooms are and you really don't want to have an accident along the way. Well, I thought I'd take this opportunity to talk about that. And as I am traveling around, I would like to just offer up some helpful tips and hints of some things that you can do while you're traveling to keep your bladder and your bowels happy and healthy. Maybe some little tips that you can use to hold back the tide, as I often say, and make it a little bit further along the way and make the trip more pleasant as a result. So here's to long distance traveling while keeping your bladder happy, and we will see you at the next stop and give you your first tip. Here is travel tip number 1. Stay well hydrated. I know you're tempted to probably dehydrate because you don't want to go to the bathroom a lot, but that actually irritates your bladder even more because it concentrates your urine, and it's just not a good thing to do to your body. Your cells need that water to function well, and I don't want you to end up with other problems because of dehydration. So use lots of just regular water. If you don't like plain water, add a little bit of flavoring. If you're really sensitive to citrus, try avoiding lemon or lime in your water, but stay hydrated. It will be very good for your body and your body will thank you. Another benefit, think of it this way, if you have to stop and use the bathroom, this is a good chance to get up, get out of the car, walk around a bit, and get some movement going in your body. That is another big benefit. So that's tip number 1. We'll see you at the next stop. Here is another travel tip. What do you do when you're driving down the road and you get that urge that you need to go to the bathroom and you don't see any rest stops or other stops close by? 2 things. First, it's important to remember that that first urge you get usually means that your bladder is only half full. In most cases, if you ignore it or concentrate on something else, that urge will go away until the bladder fills up more, and then it's really time to go. For most people, just simply not paying attention to that first urge is fine, and you can go on your way and go a little further. If that's not your case, and you know that when you get that urge, you've got to go soon, use your pelvic floor to hold back the tide. Here's what I mean by that. do a few pelvic floor contractions while you're sitting or while you're driving. What that does is that helps to tell the bladder that it's not quite time to go, and the bladder can relax a little bit more. You can check out my video on the Bradley loop for more information and more details about how that works, but that can be a very effective thing to do to help suppress that urge until you can get to a stop. Now, not so sure as to how to do a pelvic floor contraction or what that means? That would be a great time to talk with a pelvic floor physical therapist, set up an appointment to have someone show you how to do that. Let's talk about that further. And sometimes you just gotta have coffee. Plan accordingly. Cheers. Here's some tips that you can do so that you don't have an accident on the way to the restroom. It's going to be really, really tempting to want to rush out of your car and do anything you can to get to the bathroom as fast as you can. But here's one simple tip. Try to avoid that. When you park, just take a few moments to sit still. Take a few deep breaths. I know, breathe. And then when you get out of your car, stand still, take another deep breath, and then walk as calmly as you can to the place where the bathroom is. I know that's probably the last thing you want to think about doing is taking your time, but it really does help retrain your bladder and teach it that it can wait and it doesn't have to have a temper tantrum as soon as you get out of your car or as soon as you get to the door. Those are those triggers that we've talked about, and you can overcome those triggers. So hopefully you enjoyed that helpful tip, and we'll see you at the next stop. Let's say you have just stopped at a gas station or a rest stop. Here's one thing not to do if you want to keep your bladder healthy and happy on the road. Do not go for the 40-ounce big gulp, or whatever they're called now, that are full of sugar, caffeine, and carbonation, which are three of the top bladder irritants that you have. Avoid that temptation and try to go with something that has less sugar or no sugar, less caffeine, and less carbonation. Your bladder will thank you, and you'll probably make it a little further this time. Here is another important travel tip, especially if you are driving long distances. Wear compression socks. Let me show you mine. These actually have an opening down at the ankle, and they go all the way up to the knee. There are other ones that are more like socks that cover your whole foot, but these ones are very, very helpful if your legs tend to swell after sitting for long periods of time. Perhaps you have had pelvic surgery, whether it's for cancer or something else, and you've had quite a few lymph nodes removed. That makes your lymphatic system a lot less efficient in getting rid of that fluid like it normally should, and it needs a little help when you're on long drives. So something as simple as wearing compression socks, or sometimes even the compression shorts, are super helpful in keeping your lymph system going, keeping that circulation going so that you don't get that swelling that's really, really uncomfortable.